Ladies and gentlemen, hey now, hey now, hey now, and a hey now. Welcome to our number 2 of the line, Talk 99.5. Talk995.com, Noto Roofing, bringing you this part of the show, and OTORoofing.com. My roofing guys. Man, Chris sent me the funniest freaking reel today. I got to send that to you, John Bird.
Yeah, send it to me.
Please don't forget to watch this. You're probably not going to be able to watch it you're probably not going to be able to watch it during the show, but do not forget to watch this tonight.
We'll do.
Assuming that you make it home and you're not spending the night at work, Trust.
Hey, come on,
No,
man.
I'm just,
what the heck?
I'm saying I would never let you spend the night there. I would come pick you up and you can sleep. I got a guest bedroom now, of course.
Yeah, you do.
Now that I've kicked somebody out of my house. So, that we didn't kick her out of the house.
No.
She grew up and she left.
Yes, she did. Very exciting for her.
But yeah, we'll take care of you. You ain't gotta worry about a thing, everybody. So Noto Roofing, NOTORoofing.com. Reach out to them, man. Great guys. Gonna get your roof squared away if you got any problems. Remember, I tell you, when you get home, just kind of peek around the side of the roof, see if you notice anything funny, gutters coming off the side or anything like that. If you do, it's worth getting them to come check it out. If you don't see anything and you just want a free roof inspection, remember, it doesn't cost you anything. There's no obligation, no strings attached. Just get them to come on out there, do what they do, and let you know if you got any problems. 205-848-2299. That's 848-2299. NotoRoofing.com. One more quick brainwashed liberal story, okay? This one comes out of Maine. It's a left-wing couple who recently fled the great state of Texas for Maine because they were so concerned about climate change. This is a story from the Bangor Daily News about two people named Sean and Sarah Good who moved to the town of Bangor, Maine back in March. They noted that Sean and Sarah had lived in Austin since 2006 and 2011, but had grown fed up with the sometimes crazy weather events in Austin. They blamed it on climate change, and they blamed the Texas state government for their inconveniences. They said, according to the news, they told the newspaper, "We had a lot of reasons to move away from Austin, but the one that hit us the hardest was the weather. We were facing our fourth catastrophic event in 5 years, and nobody was doing anything to address it." That's right. The Texas government wasn't using their weather machines to stop it. But less than 2 months after settling down in the small city of roughly 33,000 residents, they woke up one late April morning to find someone had taken a big, fat, steamy dump on their front porch.
Oh, man.
The person responsible had slept there overnight on outdoor furniture cushions and apparently found it proper to relieve himself like a wild animal. That's right. Liberal utopia. All the homeless people you could possibly want.
Man.
The incident completely shocked the tolerant couple who obviously expected paradise, and the cleanup afterwards was no fun either. The story said the unwelcome surprise came on Saturday morning in late April, shortly after the couple moved from Austin, Texas to Bangor in March. They found someone had slept on cushions that belonged on outdoor furniture. The couple hadn't yet unpacked and defecated in several areas on their porch. While the couple was immediately horrified and didn't enjoy cleaning up the mess, they said the experience hasn't changed their love of Bangor or their excitement about moving to the Queen City.
Jeez.
People are taking dumps. Human beings, by the way, taking dumps on your porch, and you're like, man, it's okay. We're excited about our LGBTQIA plus neighbors. What a bunch of idiots. Jim's in Winston County. Jim, what's up?
I wanted to weigh in on the PTSD thing, and I want to preface by saying that I spent 5 years active in the military, 2 tours in Vietnam. After that, I come home and spent 26 years in uniform as a cop on the street the entire 26 years. And I'm really upset about how according to your mental health professionals today, I'm really damaged goods. Let's put it that way. And I did a deep dive into PTSD back in the 80s because a lot of my other fellow officers were veterans as well, and some combat veterans like me. And if you understand how business works, a business can't maintain itself unless it has a customer base and you have a good share of that. So what I've seen, and especially the last 10 to 12 years, is the mental health community has to make money. So they are pushing this PTSD to the point that it is ridiculous. And I also grew up on a farm and ranching my first 18 years, and we butchered all our own animals and raised all our own meat and all that kind of stuff. And it just really upsets me as a veteran and somebody that has actually witnessed and been involved in putting people in mass graves after Tet and stuff like that, that all these mental health professionals have to make money on us instead of being truthful and letting people know that the reality is there's good and bad in this world. Some of us experience more bad than good, some more good than bad. But there's only probably, if I remember the number, it's 3% of Vietnam veterans that had PTSD to the point that they actually needed any type of professional mental health. That's of combat veterans. Mm-hmm. So it really upsets me when I hear all this crap about PTSD and 1 in 6 out of 10 people have PTSD. That's 6% of the total population. I don't believe it. I think it's just a lot of mental health professionals that got a degree and they have to make money, so they have to keep pushing this and have their customers come back, more counseling, more this, more that. And I've been evaluated by the VA, and I was told I was around 20 to 30% on their scale, which don't debilitate me at all. It just makes me a little better person.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got to say about that.
And I was going to say, it's the same thing in the medical field as far as having to maintain a clientele, whether it's the pharmaceutical companies or the medical industry, that instead of solving your problems, they need you to keep coming back. And it's everything. I mean, it's the dental industry. It's all of it. I do want to ask, though, when it comes to veterans in say today's age, or say over the last 5, 6, 7 years, do you think they've really ramped up the diagnosis of people with PTSD? Because I was watching this financial show where he was having on young people. I'm talking about Gen Zers or millennials, like young people in their 20s that had been released from the military, and they had been given a diagnosis of PTSD, so they were being able to collect X amount of dollars every month because of their PTSD. And the guy hosting the show was like, "Well, what did you do in the military?" And he was like, "Well, I was a cook." And he was like, "Well, how do you have PTSD?" And he's like, "I don't know. That's just what they diagnosed me with." Do you think that that's happening today at a high level?
It's happening for 2 reasons. One is I was in a helicopter company my second tour as a crew chief, and we're not going into details, but I saw a lot of blood, and I shot at people and shot back. And when I went to the reunion, everybody told me, "Well, go to the VA and lie to them and tell them all this, that you're so upset and this causes you so many problems. You get a whole bunch of money from them." So it's become a ripoff, just like the disability for Social Security has become a ripoff. So, and attorneys are part of it. You go see an attorney, they'll say the same thing. Oh, go in and tell them you can't sleep at night and you have these thoughts and that thoughts. And I was honest with them, and I was rated at 20 to 30%, which is not debilitating. But many of my used-to-be friends are part of this fraud, and they are getting 70, 80% or more for PTSD that is totally unfounded.
Yeah, interesting. Well, good stuff, Jim. I appreciate the phone call, man.
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
That's when he was bringing that up, that's the first thing I thought of was that Caleb Hammer show episode that I watched where he had a guy and he was like, "Yeah, I got an honorable discharge and I'm at 80% on the PTSD scale," or however that works. I don't really understand it, but
if you haven't seen Combat, I don't know.
But he was like, how much money are you getting a month? And he was getting like $2,500, $3,000 a month or something like that. It may have even been higher than that for his PTSD. And he's like, "So you're not working or anything?" He's like, "No, I'm just, I got diagnosed." And he's like, "Well, what did you do in the Army?" He's like, "Well, I was a cook." He's like, "A cook?" He's like, "Well, what in the kitchen caused you PTSD?" He was like, "Well, I've got ADD." or I've got anxiety disorder.
Oh no, you can't. Yeah.
He was like, and that's what they're paying you for because you got anxiety. Let's keep moving real quick. Hippie's on the line. Hippie, what's up?
Hey, man, I missed part of that previous story. Where did the couple move to?
They moved from Texas to Maine.
Bangor?
Bangor,
I
Maine.
thought I heard Bangor.
Yeah, Bangor, Maine.
And somebody relieved themselves on their property.
That's correct. On their porch, on their front porch.
On the porch.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you moved there, right?
And you move there for the duty. That's right.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, see you, Hippie. Yeah, we moved here to have homeless people crap on our porch.
It was their civic duty.
Was their civic,
Oh, that hurts. I'm not gonna laugh.
their civic duty.
Duty.
Richard the Cop, what's up, buddy?
Going towards the PTSD, Andrew. I was officially diagnosed in 2016 when I was living in OKC. And I always knew there was something wrong. I've got a startle reflex like you wouldn't understand. You better not tap me on the shoulder and me not know you're there. And noises, extreme noises, large crowds. It ramps my agitation level up like you would not believe. And going back to the guy called from Winston County, the doctor I was seeing had all the most wonderful intentions. But at one point, they had me on so much medication that I could not focus on doing my job I was doing for the state at that time. And I just realized I had to get off that stuff. Well, I couldn't convince her to take me off of it. So I quit going, and I flushed the medicine down the toilet, which you're not supposed to go cold turkey off that stuff. And I suffered through it to get off that stuff. Bupropion was one of them, stuff like that. And I have some of the most horrific dreams, Andrew, that you'll ever think about some points in times. I went to sleep the other night, and I love my wife to death. Don't get me wrong. When I started having these horrible dreams, I woke up, she's watching some Vietnam movie where they're killing each other in the woods. I'm like, what are you doing? Do you understand? My brain's absorbing that, and it's, And so I don't believe I was overdiagnosed, but I believe they over-medicate like y'all were talking about.
That's exactly what they do.
My official diagnosis was PTSD, panic attacks, and generalized anxiety. It's something that'll be with me the rest of my life. I mean, I've seen a lot of ugliness. But you have to just I isolate myself. You know what I'm saying? When we went to Dolly Stampede when we were in Gatlinburg last month. And it's just nothing but a big old crowd of milling people, and you're packed in there like sardines. And I told her, I said, we've already paid $155 for these tickets. I love you, but we're never coming here again. Can't do that. Boomer and them going to the ball games. God help them. Love that idea, but I can't do that. I don't. Especially with all this stuff going on nowadays, with all these sleeper cell things and mass shootings and all of that, I'm safer by myself at home with my door locked.
Hey, man, that's what some people would much prefer do. Oh, and also when it comes to wives, I mean, a lot of people know this. I mean, you wake up in the middle of the night and your wife's watching some true crime video, and they're like, they found the remains of a 11-year-old boy in the woods where he was brutally stabbed to death. It's like a narration, but it's like you're getting that pumped in your head while you're trying to sleep, and you're like, oh my God.
Andrew, the case that broke me when I was in Oklahoma. let me clean this up real good. Was a 2.5-year-old girl that had a rash all over her, and eventually we discovered that the dad had been putting metal up in her, like SOS pads he built cars out of. That was so far up in her, it had grown into her body and had to be surgically removed.
Jeez.
And I had to sit in a meeting across the table from this man discussing with the DA about prosecuting him. And I was so close.
Just wanted to rip his head off his shoulders.
Well, I was the only man in the room except him. And he's like, well, she was always back up playing with herself in her diaper. I said, Mr. James, ladies, please excuse what I'm about to say. And everybody looked at me. I said, you know the pain a woman goes through having sex the first time? You tell me a 2.5-year-old girl shoved a piece of metal screen up in her so deep you couldn't see it. She enjoyed it so much she did it 6 times.
That's awful.
So at that point, I decided I looked for another career.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming back home because I couldn't do it no more.
Wow. We're glad to have you here, Richard the Cop.
Well, brother, it's one of them things. Y'all are family. I will not be there Friday night. The predatory parking downtown doesn't do me right. And like I said, it's going to be packed, and I'm going to miss seeing y'all, but I just don't do the crowd well.
I get it.
Now, when we did it in Siluria 2 years ago, that was open air, and that was, that was different. But packed in them buildings and stuff and drunk, I don't like drunk people, and, it's the way it is. But y'all have a good day. I'm sitting here waiting to grab another body.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
All right.
And we'll have another event coming up soon that is more of an open-air venue. But let me tell you, Friday night, man, Jawbone Jam. If you can make it, by golly, make it. Get your tickets. Still available. Something I did not expect. I will say I was wrong about this. I thought we'd run out of tickets a lot sooner, but we still got tickets available, and we got tickets to give away. But don't wait on us to give them away. Go ahead and get them. Ticketmaster.com. Look up Talk 99.5 or Jawbone Jam or search Brother Kane. Get your tickets. Knowles Group, Aqua Systems, Blakely's Bouquet. Thank you to all those guys. Man, we're going to have a big time. 10-year anniversary of Talk 99.5. Ernest Financial, retire with Ernest, retirewithernest.com. There we go. Retirewithernest.com. My buddy David Ernest, 25, what is wrong with me? 45 years in the business. You hear his spots all the time during the commercial breaks. He's got his own show from 5 to 6 a.m. in the mornings, and just a great guy. Go out there and add his Facebook page. You know, I'm ashamed to say that I just did that today for the first time. Looked up Ernest Financial and added him on Facebook. I just don't think about those things. Even though David Ernest is a buddy, he's like a real friend. He's not like a Facebook friend, so I just never did it. But he's going to take care of you, man. If you guys are out there making good money, and a lot of y'all are, man, there's a lot of people out there that are making more money now than they've ever made in their life, which, you know, kind of helps in this economy as gas prices are up and everything else. And you're trying to put money back and you've got over $50K in your retirement. Go ahead and call him and help set up a plan for you to take advantage of this time in your life where you're making good money and have some cushion, man. Have some security in your life. Now, if you're over 55 and you want to make sure retirement's set up and ready to go in the next 10, 15 years, call him as well. Let him put that plan together. Make sure your retirement stays secure and that it's growing for you for those next few years before retirement. 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-7233. Online, retirewithernest.com. Retirewithernest.com. Somebody said on the text line, Brian said, JB, your story reminds me of the episode of The Simpsons where Bart says, "This is the worst day of my life." And then Homer turns around and says, "This is the worst day of your life so far."
Oh, gosh.
Lily says, "I wanted to tear some ish up when my dad died, but I didn't because I knew I'd have to clean it all up afterwards." Well, that's good that you stopped yourself.
Yes, it is.
Bubba Rumble says that John Bird is the real life Incredible Hulk, which is, I lost it.
Yeah. I've actually got an AI picture of me as Hulk that I'll send when I get mad.
Yeah, when he gets mad, he always texts that picture. He said, "Don't make him angry. You wouldn't like him when he's angry. He will turn into Jay Bizzle if you make him angry and start hulking, smashing stuff. Jay Bizzle smash." Tom says they think this is the Hunger Games.
Yes.
Walter says, agree, follow the money trail. Leslie says, I was told by a local veteran service office I could get an automatic 10% VA disability for my tinnitus. Good grief. I felt it wasn't worth the hassle. So that's just another example of kind of what they're talking about. So more show coming up, man. A lot to get to. Hang tight. All right, here we go. The line talk 995, talk995.com, enter McLeanWho.com. On YouTube, make sure you find us on the YouTube. Real Talk 99.5 TV. Real Talk 99.5 TV. And subscribe, hang out. Man, we got a kind of a solid group that hangs out on YouTube and all chats with each other. And if you want to be a part of that exclusive group, I suggest you get on it. Get on it. Also, Jawbone Jam, I'm going to be cramming that down your throat the next 2 days. Jawbone Jam this Friday. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Huge show coming up with Brother Kane, Stone Horses and Cattle. And it's going to be a blast, dude. Can't wait to see y'all. Thank you to Danny Knowles of the Knowles Group. Thank you to Aqua Systems and Blakely's Bouquet for helping us make that happen. But again, Ticketmaster.com. Ticketmaster.com. Make sure you look up Talk 99.5 Jawbone Jam or look up Brother Kane. Some people were telling me they were having trouble finding it, but you can find it under any of those. Should be able to. Underdog Fantasy. Bringing you this part of the show. Underdog Fantasy. The app is what I want you to download. Just free to download, free to sign up, and free to use my promo code HeyNow, all one word, HEYNOW. NBA playoffs. You got UFL. You've got all kind. You got baseball. I was watching some Tennessee baseball last night, mainly because my dad was at the game, but plenty of ways to play, plenty of ways to win real money. All you're doing is picking players and deciding if they're going to go higher or lower on certain stats, like blocks or steals or points or, in baseball, runs, touchdowns, and UFL, whatever it is. You got plenty of options. Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the app today and use promo code HeyNow to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code HeyNow. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 19 or older and present in Alabama. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit ncpgambling.org. Make sure I said that right. 1-800-MY-RESET. There we go. Little correction there for you. I don't know if you've been keeping up with this or not, John Bird, but the L.A. mayor's race has been – normally I really wouldn't care about a race like that because L.A. is a cesspool and we have to imagine that it will remain a cesspool. It's a lost cause. I mean, when we're talking about cities across the U.S., there are certain lost causes. New York City is one. Chicago, and L.A. That's kind of the three big ones you always – Seattle, Portland, Oregon. There's a few around there. But L.A.'s a big one. And it's kind of like New York. It's a beautiful city. It's the home of Hollywood. And you hate to see it just be given up on, but that's kind of just where we've been as a country. People defecating on the streets, homeless people, needles, whatever. But there seems to be a glimmer of hope, as there is in California. It's crazy because for the first time in a long time, you've got the possibility of a Republican being the governor and a possibility of a Republican being the mayor of L.A. Spencer Pratt, who is an outsider, to say the least, is going up against Karen Bass. And he is – what's interesting about Spencer Pratt is he's not a politician. He is a reality TV star, from what I understand. He was on the what is he from? I think he's from is it The Hills, the name of the show?
Is that reality?
Yeah, it's like a Beverly Hills TV show or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like he married one of the cast members or was dating them or something. Anyway, he is somebody who lost his home in the L.A. wildfires. And after all the red tape and all the BS and all the blowing smoke up people's hind end that the government there in Los Angeles did, he finally said, "You know what? I'm going to run for governor." And this guy he actually might win this thing because he's rising in the polls, and Karen Bass is just flatlining. They had a debate the other day. I guess there's 3 candidates, but it's mainly Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass. And he got up there and destroyed the other 2, and just with common sense stuff. It says, according to a new poll, shows incumbent Mayor Karen Bass falling flat with voters, while former reality TV star Spencer Pratt has improved his position against runner-up council member Nithya Raymond in the nonpartisan mayoral primary. So that's the third person, Nithya Raymond. Surveying 531 likely voters on May 1st through 4th with a margin of error of 6.1%. The poll from Abundance Network in partnership with Tavern Research showed that Bass has hit a ceiling while Pratt and Raymond are racing to take her on in a head-to-head matchup for mayor of L.A. Says as Raymond and Spencer Pratt's numbers continue to rise from early March polling, Mayor Karen Bass's numbers are stubbornly stuck between 20 and 25% support from the primary electorate. The most unpopular Democrat we asked about in our poll, Bass is only 4 points behind Pratt and 6 points behind Raymond, an incredibly weak position for an incumbent with a near universal name ID. That's what's big, is the fact that Karen Bass is known nationally. And if you're polling that low with that kind of name recognition, that spells disaster. And that's the third survey. It says, importantly, this is the third survey confirming Nithya Raymond is in third place in this race as of the writing of this memo. In fact, in the poll average, she is currently half a point behind Pratt and 2 points behind Pratt in the survey just fielded. So, and his campaign ads have been absolutely outstanding, by the way. But more people need to be, and Karen Bass needs to be investigated, first of all, because she is on tape. I mean, on tape on a recorded phone call talking to one of her staffers in a way that makes it sound like she knew the LA wildfires were going to happen. It was before she left on her trip to Africa. Remember, like 2 days before the wildfire, she left the country? Everybody was like, "Where's the mayor?" And they're like, "Oh, she's somewhere in Africa." And they don't even have the water. They don't have water to put out the wildfires. And Karen Bass was nowhere to be found. She says on this phone call, and I wish I'd have played it for you guys. She's talking to this individual, and I don't remember exactly who he is, but he's telling her, "Hey, you need to get out there and warn people that the land in the area is primed for something such as a wildfire right now." Like, the weather had been super dry, and it was as if they were expecting the fire. And she said, no. She's like, "I'm not going to do that. That wouldn't be politically reasonable. And I don't want people to think that I'm doing it for politics or something like that." She said, "But you'll understand the big picture when I get back and I can talk to you in person. But now I can't give you any details." And it was like, that's kind of weird. What details are you talking about? That was never explained. But I think you've got some real criminality when it comes to what Karen Bass knew or what the mayor's office knew that average people did not when it comes to the LA wildfires. And that's been a big part of, Spencer Pratt's campaign, as far as saying, hey, this lady is, she's not for you, obviously. And she has been more than happy to not let anybody rebuild. So I'm sure big financial companies can come in and buy up all that property and then rent it to people and make billions and billions of dollars. Speaking of billions of dollars, This is how brainwashed these individuals are. That's the theme of the day, John Bird. Brainwashed liberals. Okay, I got a cool Transformer helmet on TikTok just now. You should have seen it.
Oh, cool.
It was gnarly. Whoever sent that, Joe, my boy Joe Graves sent that. Thank you, Joe. The Democrat Socialist of America have officially endorsed for California governor billionaire Tom Steyer. Let me say that again. The Democrat Socialist of America, the California division, have officially endorsed a billionaire for governor. A socialist group is saying the billionaire in the race is who we want to be governor. This is wild. Steyer, who is a former hedge fund executive, is worth more than $2 billion. And he's spent heavily on political campaigns, including his failed 2020 presidential run. In its voter guide, the California chapter of the Democrat Socialist of America described Steyer as the most progressive viable candidate in the race, despite accusing him of building his fortune through capitalism and worker exploitation. You can't even make this up. Democrats have no shame, by the way. Democrat socialist, Democrat communist. None of them have any shame. Here's what they said. They said, despite being a billionaire, and this is in their voter guide, this is what they put out to guide people on who to vote for. They said, despite being a billionaire, he supports taxing the rich and supports the billionaire tax currently on California's ballot, which CADSA has endorsed, which I guess is California Democrat Socialist of America. He has done an about-face from his previous position to now supporting state-level Medicare for all. He has called ICE a violent extremist group and outlined how he, as governor, would prosecute ICE agents. He has also been endorsed by a number of major labor unions, including the California Teachers Association, the California Federation of Teachers, AFSCME 3299, Unite Here, the California Nurses Association, and the California Labor Federation, as well as progressive groups such as Our Revolution and Courage California, a former gubernatorial candidate, Betty Yee. Notably, Steyer is one of two Democrats in the race alongside Tommy Thurmond, who to explicitly support California's law protecting trans girls' participation in girls' sports. Becerra, on the other hand, glibly stated that there's nothing in the Constitution that says you are entitled to play a sport, and other Democrats, including Katie Porter, agreed. So anyway, it gives a long whole explanation. The Democrat Socialist of America are endorsing a billionaire for California governor. Are they not embarrassed by that? Are you not embarrassed as being a socialist by saying, yeah, I'd like a billionaire to win? Does that not go against everything that you supposedly believe in? Again, no shame. Like Brother Kane said, got no shame. That's the Democrats. That's probably what the song's about. It's probably about Democrats. They've got no shame. They've got no self-awareness. They have no conscience. They've got nothing. They've got nothing to offer. They're just here sucking off the teat of the government, which is funded by you and I. All right, 205-545-9950. Oh, I got it, John Bird over here. I just muted my own, so you're good.
I knew you could do it.
Yeah, I did it. All right, let's keep rolling with it. If you want to get in, 205-545-9950, 545-9950. Also, John Burr riding a mechanical bull on TikTok if you want to see that at the Andrew Mclain. You have too much fun with that. Way too much fun. And I wonder what people, again, well, I guess this is a question we always ask. What do people that are walking by your window think as you're looking at your phone making all these faces?
Well, you know, it's a matter of do I care or not?
Or do they care?
Yes, you got to be yourself.
They're used to it.
You've got to be yourself. Yourself. Do you hear me? Be yourself.
All right, let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
We were talking about Democrat Socialist of America endorsing billionaires Tom Steyer. Good for them. I'm sure that's going to work out great for them. Let me move over to redistricting. So we've talked a lot about that. Shameful that Alabama can't get their ish together and just eliminate all Democrat districts. Would be very easy to do, but they don't have the balls to do it, as many Republicans don't. There could be so many things done in all red states across the country to just completely lock in the midterms, but they're just not. I mean, Montgomery sucks, man. We have got some of the worst politicians in the country. We might as well have Democrats running things down in Montgomery. I'm convinced of it sometimes. In South Carolina, I mentioned this early on after the Supreme Court ruling that South Carolina had the opportunity to get rid of their Democrat seat. They had one Democrat seat on in their state, which has been long held by none other than Jim Clyburn, and they apparently don't have the balls to do that either. You had 5 South Carolina Senate rhinos who voted to block redistricting. Sean Bennett, Chip Campson, Tom Davis, Greg Hembry, and Shane Massey. Not that you guys know any of those individuals, but they are now on the rhino list and could end up being in Donald Trump's crosshairs. So the South Carolina Senate on yesterday, rejected the House passed that. The South Carolina House passed this. It's a resolution to extend a legislative session to consider the redistricting. The newly drawn congressional map eliminates Democrat Representative Jim Clyburn's district, and Jim Clyburn's pretty much on his way out anyway. I mean, he's as old as dirt, but you don't want another Democrat taking that spot. Give the Republicans an extra House seat. Apparently, these individuals do not want to do that. The Senate failed to reach the 2/3 majority required to advance the redistricting vote. 5 rhinos voted against it. This is not the end of redistricting for South Carolina. It just made it more difficult for South Carolina to redraw its congressional map for this particular election. It made it highly unlikely. Now, Donald Trump put out a long tweet about, hey, you South Carolina rhinos, you better get in order or I may get involved in your primaries. Remember, he did that in Indiana and swept it across the board. These 5 rhinos in South Carolina might suffer the same fate.